This is Hollywood.
Winter Halter was an American easy-listening arranger, composer, best known for his arrangements and recordings for RCA. Victor Madge Kennedy was a stage, film, and TV actress whose career began in 1912 and flourished in motion pictures during the silent film era. Vaughn Wilton Monroe was an American baritone singer, trumpeter, big band leader, actor, and businessman who was most popular in the 1940s and 50s. Vaughn
Madge Kennedy.
Ernest Jennings Ford
Vaughn Monroe
was professionally known as Tennessee Ernie Ford. Was an American singer and television host who enjoyed success in the country, western, pop, and gospel music genres. Frederick Christian Antoine Fritz Lang was an Australian-German American filmmaker, screenwriter, and occasional film producer and actor. Zelmore Catherine Elizabeth Hedrick was an American actress, college juror, soprano from the age of 12. Grayson trained as an operatic singer. She was on contract to Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer in the 1940s. George Orson Welles was an American director, actor, screenwriter, and producer who was remembered for the innovative work in radio, theater, and film. Timothy John Fitzgerald McCoy was an American actor, military officer, and expert on American Indian life and customs. Michael Webb Pierce was an American honky-tonk vocalist, songwriter, and guitarist during the 1950s. John Nicholas Dick Foran was an American actor known for performances in Western musicals and for playing supportive roles in dramatic pictures. Leopold Anthony Stokowski was a British conductor of mixed Polish and Irish descent. Norman Turco, nothing found. James Francis Durante was an American actor, comedian, singer, vaudevillian, and pianist. His distinctive Rayleigh speech,
Mae Marsh,
the Lower East Side accent, comedic language, butchery, jazz-influenced songs, and prominent nose helped make him one of America's most familiar and popular personalities from the 20s through the 70s.
Clark Gable.
Mae Marsh was an American film actress with a career spanning over 50 years. John Benjamin Ireland was a Canadian American actor and film director. He was nominated for an Academy Award for his performance in All the King's Men, making him the first Vancouver-born actor to receive an Oscar nomination. William Clark Gable, a.k.a. Clark Gable, was an American film actor and often referred to as the King of Hollywood. Did not know that. Clark Gable is often referred to as the King of Hollywood. He made over 60 motion pictures in multiple genres, best known as Rhett Butler in Gone with the Wind. Richard Dix, D-I-X, was an American motion picture actor who achieved popularity in both silent and sound film. A standard on-screen image was the start of a rugged and stalwart hero. Henry Renee was an American musician who had an international career in the recording industry as a producer, composer, conductor, and arranger. Cary Grant English was an English-American actor known as the transatlantic accent, debonair, demeanor, lighthearted approach to acting, and sense of comedic timing. He was one of Hollywood's classic definitive leading men during the 40s and 50s. He was born in Hurfield, Bristol, England. Julia Sanderson was a Broadway actress and singer. In 1887, she was born in Springfield, Massachusetts, to parents Albert and Satchel Elvira Sanderson. She used her mother's maiden name as her stage name. She appeared in Paw Circus as a child. Donna Reed was an American actress and comedian. Her career spanned more than 40 years with performances in more than 40 films. She is also best known for her role as Mary Hatch Bailey and Frank Capra's film It's a Wonderful Life. She also appeared on the hit television series The Donna Reed Show, which is Paul Peterson and Shelley Fabre, and she also replaced Miss Barbara Belgadi for a while as Miss Ellie on Dallas. Ann Southern was an American actress who worked on stage, radio, film, and television. Southern began her career in the 1920s, parts in films. In the 1930s, she made a Broadway stage debut and worked her way up to starring roles. Adrienne Ames was an American film actress. Early in her career, she was known as Adrienne Trudeau. George Brett was an Irish-American stage, film, and television actor. He is best remembered for the 11 films he made with Betty Davis, which included Jezebel and Dark Victory. Norman Luboff was an American music arranger, music publisher, and choir director. Eugene O'Brien was an American silent film star and stage actor. Leroy Anderson was an American composer of short concert pieces, of which many were introduced by the Boston Pops Orchestra under the direction of author John Fiedler. John Williams described him as one of the greatest masters of light orchestra music. Charles Ambrose Bickford was an American actor based on the supporting roles. He was nominated 3 times for the Academy Awards for Best Supporting Actor for the song Bernadette, The Farmer's Daughter, and Johnny Belinda, and for other roles include a role in Stars Born, The Big Country. Robert George Young. Robert Young was an American television and radio actor best known for his leading roles as Jim Anderson,
Barbara Hale,
father character in Father Knows Best, and physician Marcus Welby
Robert Edison,
in Marcus Welby, MD. Frederick March was an American actor, regarded as one of Hollywood's most celebrated versatile stage actors in the 30s and 40s. Ida Estelle Taylor was an American actress, singer, model, animal rights activist.
Donald Crisp.
Jane Wyman was an American actress, singer, dancer, and philanthropist. She received an Academy Award and 3 Golden Globes Awards and nominated for 2 Primetime Emmy Awards. Wyman's professional career began at age 16 in 1933. She was also the first wife of Ronald Reagan, former President Ronald Reagan. Roy Rogers was born Leonard Franklin Sly and was an American singer, television host, and actor. John Arthur Kennedy was an American stage and film actor known for the versatility in supporting roles and the ability to create exceptional honesty and naturalness on stage, especially in the original cast of Arthur Miller plays on Broadway. Elizabeth Scott was an American actress known for her smoky voice and being the most beautiful face of film noir during the 40s and 50s. Alice Lake was an American film actress. She began her career during the silent film era and often appeared in comedy shorts opposite Roscoe Arbuckle. Arlene Dahl, Carol Dahl, is an American retired actress and former Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer star who achieved notoriety during the 1950s. She has 3 children, the oldest of whom is actor Lorenzo Lamas. She is one of the surviving stars of the classic Hollywood cinema era.
Ray Milan.
Arthur Fiedler was an American conductor known as his association with the Boston Symphony and Boston Pops Orchestras was a combination of musicianship and showmanship made the Boston Pops one of the best-known orchestras in the U.S. Charlton Heston was an American actor and political activist. As a Hollywood star, he appeared in over 100 films. Over the 60 years of his career, he played Moses in the epic film The Ten Commandments, for which he received the first nomination for the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Motion Picture Drama. Walter Stacey Keach Jr., also known as professionally as Stacey Keach, is an American actor and narrator. He has played mainly dramatic roles throughout his career,
Selma
often in
Ave.
long, private, and as a private
Selma,
detective.
and that was from
Johnny Mercer was an American lyricist, songwriter, and singer. Ted Malone was an American radio broadcaster. Barbara Hill was an American actress, best known for her role as legal secretary Della Street on the television series Perry Mason, earning her a 1959 Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a drama series. Robert Edelson was an American film and stage actor and a silent heir and a vaudeville performer. Addison was born in New Orleans, Louisiana.
George Sanders.
John Reagan Tex McCleary Jr. was an American journalist and public relations specialist who popularized the talk show genre for television and radio, along with his wife Jinx Falkenberg, with whom he hosted the first radio talk show Meet Tex and Jinx, as well as the radio show Hijinks and the television talk shows At Home with the Swift Home Service Club. Donald Chris was an English film actor and well-known early producer and screenwriter. His career lasted from the early silent film and into the 1960s. He won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor in 1942 for How Green Was My Valley.
Tom Moore.
Zubin Mehta is an Indian conductor of Western and Eastern classical music. He is a musical director, Anchamaris of Israel Philharmonic Orchestra, and conductor, Anchamaris of Los Angeles Philharmonic Orchestra. Jeanette Anna McDonald was an American singer and actress, best remembered for her musical films in the 1930s. With Maurice Chevalier and Nelson Eddy. During the 30s and 40s, she started 29 feature films and nominated for Best Picture. Oscars, recorded extensively, earning 3 gold records. Dolores Del Rio, Spanish pronunciation. She also is one of the 4 ladies.
Al Hibbler.
With her career spanning over 50 years, she is regarded as the first major female Latin American crossover star in Hollywood. Emil Jannings was a German actor popular in the 20s in Hollywood. Reginald Thomas Kirkwood, better known as Joe Kirkwood Jr., was a professional golfer on the PGA circuit and a motion picture actor. He is going by the name of Joe Jr. in the late 30s. Henry Grantland Rice was an early 20th century American sports writer known for his elegant prose. His writing was published in the newspapers around the country, broadcasting on the radio. Herbert Pryor Valet, known professionally as Rudy
Jack Pearl
Valet, was an American singer, musician, actor, video host. He was one of the first modern pop stars of teen idol hype.
Louis Hayward.
Charlotte Rujas, now found. Margaret O'Brien is an American film, radio, television, and stage actress and one of the last surviving stars of the golden age of the Hollywood cinema. Maximum Land, now found. Jane Greer was an American film and television actress best known for her role as female Batal Kathy Moffat in the 47 film Out of the Past. Kim Tremblay, now found. Fred Andrew Stone was an American actor. Stone began his career as a performer in circuses and minstrel shows, went to act in the vaudeville and became a star on Broadway and feature films and earned him a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Delmar L. Davies, not found. Urza Stone was an American actor and director who had a long career on the stage in film, radio, and television, mostly as a director. Bill Maher is an American
Bill
comedian,
Storm.
actor, political commentator, and television host. George Henry Sanders is was a British and television actor, singer, songwriter, music composer, and author.
Donald O'Connor.
William Powell
Maria
was an American actor, a major movie star at Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, and he was paired with Bernard Lloyd in 14 films. William Biddex was an American film actor, radio, television actor, and typically played blue-collar characters. William Lee Tracy was an American stage, film, and television actor. He is best known for most of his portrayals between the 1920s and 40s. Henry Hathaway was an American film director and producer. Holly Stafford, not found. Portland Hoffa was an American comedian, radio host, actress, and dancer. Thomas J. Moore was an Irish-American actor, director. John Martin Feeney, known professionally as John Ford, was an Irish-American film director and naval officer. Rosemary Shirley DeCamp. Rosemary DeCamp was an American radio, film, and television actress. Paul Douglas Fletcher was an American actor. Tom Edward Brown was an American child model and later film and television actor. John Francis Durante, American actor, comedian, singer, vaudevillian, pianist. Al Hibbler was an American baritone vocalist who sang with Duke Ellington's orchestra before having several pop hits as a solo artist. Conrad Scott Forbes, popularly known as Scott Forbes, was a British film and television actor and screenwriter. Audrey Hepburn was a British actress and humanitarian. As both a film and fashion icon, she ranked by the American Film Institute as the third greatest female screen legend during the Golden Age. Vera Miles is a retired American actress who worked closely with Alfred Hitchcock, most notably Lila Crane in the classic 1960 film Psycho and 1983 sequel Psycho 2. Richard Clancy Gregory was an American comedian, civil rights, vegetarian, activist. His writings were bestsellers. Gregory became popular among the African American communities in the southern United States with his no-holds-barred sets poking fun at the bigotry and the racism in the United States. Paulette Goddard was an American actress, a child fashion model, and a performer in several Broadway productions as a Ziegfeld girl. She became a major star during the 1940s Paramount Pictures. Harry Eugene Howell Roach Sr. was an American film and television producer, director, actor, studio executive. John Leslie Coogan was an American actor and comedian who began his film career as a child actor in silent films. Charlie Chaplin's film, the classic The Kid, made him one of the favorites in stars of Hollywood. Sean Morton Downey, better known as Morton Downey Jr., was an American television talk show host and actor who pioneered trash TV format in the late 1980s on his program, The Morton Downey Jr. Show. Jack Pena, not found. Actor Arthur Spiegel was a Chicago mail-order businessman and early American film studio executive. Louis Charles Hayward was a Jonestown-born British-American actor. James Clarence Wakely was an American actor, songwriter, country western musician, vocalist, and one of the last singing cowboys. Michael O'Shea was known as an American character actor and appeared in a feature film and later in television, whose career spanned from the 40s, 50s, and 60s. Teresa Wright was an American actress. Robert William Gray Moore was a Northern Irish musician and songwriter. Gary Moore was an American entrepreneur, comedian, personality, genre show host, and humorist. best known for his work on television, and began a long career at CBS, starting in radio in 1937 into 1949 and the mid-70s. Ted R. Missing Renardo. Renardo was Duncan, better known as Duncan Renardo, was a Romanian-born American actor best remembered for his portrayal of the Cisco Kid in films and on 1950-1956. Joseph Evans Brown was an American actor and comedian remembered as a friendly screen persona, comedic timing, and enormous elastic smile. He was one of the most popular American comedians in the 30s and 40s. Volodymyr Horowitz was a Russian-born American classical pianist composer who lived most of his life in the United States. Josephine Cato was known professionally as Gail Starm, was an American actress and singer after a film career from 1940 to 1952. She started a popular television series, Marjorie and the Gail Starm Show. 6 of her songs were top 10 hits. Margaret Chapman Nee Duxbury was an English illustrator and painter. Donald David Dixon, Ronald O'Connor, was an American dancer, singer, and actor. Julius La Rosa was an American traditional popular music singer who worked in both radio and television beginning in the 1950s. Maria Callas Commodore was an American-born Greek soprano who was one of the most renowned and influential operetta singers in the 20th century. Gladys Swaffhart was an American mezzo-soprano opera singer and actress. The Apollo 11 was the significant for the first landed humans on the moon. Commander Neil Armstrong and lunar module pilot Buzz Aldrin formed the American crew that landed the Apollo lunar module Eagle on July 20, 1969. And Hollywood at Hollywood and Vine.